I will. You want me to?
We can make it a podcast.
I will give you some.
/ therapy session.
It's fine.
And make sure that we
How deep you want me to go?
We get you back to a centered state at the end of it. Who's that?
We're going to not do the podcast today. We're just going to play Anchorman. Enjoy.
Let's just say Anchorman quotes for the next hour and call it a day.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
One shot, now the future is yours. Go.
All right, what's going on, BE3?
What's up?
I'll tell you what's not up right now is consumer confidence in the stock market, and it's aggravating the crap out of me. So when I get real and raw today, let's talk about that situation.
I mean, you seem angry about it.
I'm not angry. I'm really annoyed.
I don't know if we should send you home in this state. So let's have a podcast / therapy session so that we can get you back to a centered state before you go home.
Let's do that.
Okay. We'll give it our best shot.
Here's what's going to help me today. Getting people to freaking do something and acknowledge what's going on right now, that I'm so excited about what's going on right now, and frustrated and concerned and totally off the charts, beaming with lots of different energies and emotions, because there's a lot of people doing nothing. There's a lot of people doing something. There's a lot of information, a lot of misinformation, a lot of stuff going on. So as we're sitting here, we're down another 1,500 points in the stock market right now. And what does that mean? Right. And this is obviously we're in real estate, we're not in stocks, but I argue often that we are in the consumer confidence business.
Yep.
And people don't do anything that they don't have to do unless they feel comfortable. And I think the important part of that sentence is unless they have to do it. Right?
Yep.
So if your real estate business is depending on people that don't have to buy real estate, then I think you should probably have a little internal angst. And I think you should probably not sleep well right now. And I think you should probably throw up a little bit in your mouth.
I think that was a pretty descriptive plan for them.
I'm serious,
and that is certainly an option that they could put on their to-do list. Or
it's a reflex. It's not intentional.
On the flip side, though, I 100% agree on consumer confidence. What I would argue is things are a little different right now than they were the last time the entire country lost consumer confidence. This is a different landscape than when 07, 08 happened.
Well, we could point to that one.
And we didn't have rates where they are now in 07 and 08.
Yep.
Because I would argue that if you're scared shitless of the stock market, really you should only be scared shitless if you're retiring right now, right? For someone who is later, I am more concerned for my parents than I am myself because I'm buying, right? We have time to recover before I need to pull that cash out for anything. If you are retiring next month and you were relying on that 401k,
if you think you were retiring next month,
that could be a potential issue for sure. If you are trying to sell right now, you're in trouble. But on the flip side, if you are an investor, real estate's a very attractive option right now because we've never seen in the history of the United States have we seen rates as low as they are now. I mean, this is as close to free money as you're ever going to get.
I was talking to one of the mortgage lenders we worked with yesterday, and this week, mortgage rates are the lowest they've ever been in the history of the recording of mortgage rates.
Right.
Interest rates. That's the lowest. They don't get any lower than that.
Stock market down. Real estate market could be argued that it's arguably never been better to start getting into real estate.
Well, let's hit that for a second because I had to correct somebody about this the other day. I had an agent that was coming to work for us, that is working for us now, and she is building a few townhomes. And the conversation came about was, should I stop? I'm nervous about building right now. Just building $2 million worth of townhomes and 4 units, 500,000 a piece. And she's like, I think I should stop. I poured the slabs. I'm a little nervous about it. I said, why? Because the market's going a little bit nuts. I said, well, is it? And she said, what do you mean? I said, that's not true. Okay. Because the market is irrelevant. The stock market, Dow Jones Industrial Average, right? Everyone talks about the stock market. The stock market's down. It's not if you own Clorox and Germex and Zoom video conferencing. It sucks if you own Carnival and Delta and a convention business stocks right now, right? So some are up, some are down, and overarching strategies doesn't matter. So for her perspective, the only market that really mattered was the $500,000 townhome market in this school district, in this town, at this time, based on the other products that are being delivered at the exact same time. That's the only micro market that matters. So when you start to wrap your head around it and say, are there good things to buy right now? And are there bad things to buy right now? Yes. Are there good stocks to buy right now? Yes. Are there bad stocks to buy right now? Yes. Depending on your outlook, right? Are there great real estate areas to be buying in, or market segments you should buy right now versus not buy right now? Like, I wouldn't be wanting to buy a vacation VRBO property in Italy right now, right? Because if I'm looking for near-term returns, I wouldn't, but maybe in a month I would.
Or do you though?
Or do you,
right?
because it's going
I
down.
think, again, it all comes back to strategy.
Yep.
What are you trying to get out of it? And if you are sitting back saying, listen, I've got $500,000 to go spend, what could I go buy in Italy right now on the water? Because if I have 500 and I don't need an immediate return, I'd be willing to bet you can buy something significantly cheaper right now than you will be in 2 years
Or in
from
a
now.
month from now.
Or in a month
Or
from
do you
now.
buy a Carnival Cruise Line stock?
Right. And that's the other thing. So I think the key here is to realize that, looking back now, and obviously things were different then, how much real estate how many homes do you wish you would have bought in 07, 08?
A lot.
Right?
Yeah.
You'd be sitting on a lot of equity and money right now.
Yeah.
So it would have taken you 10 years.
Yeah.
Right? But again, it depends on what you're doing and what the situation is. If you're an employee at Carnival and you're a fringe employee, you might be a little bit more fearful about your personal finances, because if the stock continues to drop, do you get fired? Right? That's the only.
Yeah.
Those are the people that should be concerned. Everyone else, I think there's way more opportunity staring us in the face than not. And at the agent level, I would argue that in this type of environment, you've never been needed more.
For the advisory role.
For both sides, right? Because if you're selling right now, your buyer pool is much larger because more people can afford because of the rates.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that if I'm the listing agent, I am very likely getting far more buyers interested in this property. And how do I handle multi-buyer situations? How do I evaluate which buyer is stronger? How do I advise my client on which offer to accept, right? That is strategic.
Yep.
That all revolves around you being a good agent.
Yep.
On the buy side, you're very likely in any home that your client's looking at or interested in, if they fall in love with that house, they're likely in a multi-offer situation. So how, as an agent, do I position my buyer to be the strongest buyer in that pool so that that listing agent and that seller accepts my client? So I would argue, as an agent, if you're out there communicating, keyword communicating, and I don't care if it's with smoke signals, using social, writing emails, calling, texting, if you are communicating with your sphere, letting them know that yes, the stock market is down, but here's the opportunity and here's why, and this is what the rates actually mean, and this is why we shouldn't be freaking out. If you're out there communicating that and explaining your value, I would argue that you've never been needed more.
Let me give you 3 examples from this morning, from sales meeting this morning. And the first one was with one of our newer agents here, Heather, right? And we're on the Tampa office here today. And when I was in the meeting, we started going around the room and saying, what does this virus mean? What does the stock market mean? How is it affecting the market? And what are we going to do about it? And then it was kind of like, nobody's really talking about it. Right? A lot of people's clients aren't dealing with it. I said, good. Let's hope it stays that way. Likely not going to stay that way, but let's pretend it. Let's hope it does. But let's go tactical for a second. I said, Heather, do you like your house? She goes, yeah, I do. I like my house a lot. I said, do you want to move at all? She's like, no. I said, what's your interest rate? And it was whatever it was. I'm going to share her business. But it was a decent interest rate. It wasn't as low as she can get right now, but it's pretty decent. And I said, do you want to move? She's like, no. I said, should you refinance? She goes, I don't know. I said, let's explore that, right? So here's your rate. You could refinance. She has a VA loan, right? And she could refi now. It cost her zero money, $0 out of pocket, and she could finance lower. But she's 7.5 years in to her mortgage, and maybe she shouldn't do that. She might be better off keeping it and just paying down when she can, until the conversation evolved where she actually has a pool now, but she didn't do a cash out refi for the pool. She has a separate loan for that pool. And the interest rate on that pool is 6.5, right? So now the dynamics of the story changes, because if you refi back to 2.75,
Yep.
right? And now you get rid of that 6.5 and convert that 6.5 into 2.75, and you roll their whatever in down to 2.75. It's a significant change in that aspect of it. And then if you want to do anything else, you could probably cash out refi, because you got some sick ass equity in it too.
Yep.
So if you want the kitchen, if you want that, that's it. Or maybe there's a house in the same neighborhood that's got a bigger yard or a better tree, or a bigger yard or extra bedroom that you might want. This is the time to go do that.
Yep.
So the conversation started out with, I'm not doing anything. I'm good. I'm sitting tight, to that's a good idea. And she called the loan officer. She's talking to check out her options, see if it made sense. But let's dissect that situation. That was because we had a conversation about real estate and tried to see what was in her best interest. I don't care if she buys or not, right? There's no personal benefit to me. I want her to do what's best for her. And that conversation came about, right? So this real estate conversation spurred on activity. Here's the other thing. I was over on the other side of actually this table. We had another newer agent with our room in the company. Two were sitting next to each other. And I said, let me talk about you. Your house, is anybody in this room even remotely considering selling in the next year? And 2 hands went up. I said, okay, why? Well, when? Well, I don't know. We don't really need to, just kind of want to. I want to get a different house. I want to move around. I said, okay, when do you think you do that? Probably another month or so. I said, okay, good. And then I said, why the hell would you wait another month or so? Well, because my house isn't, I've got a list of things I need to fix up before I put it on the market. I said, okay, do you know a handyman? Yeah. Why is his ass not at your house right now? I said, let's have this conversation, really have this conversation right now. And with both of them, I said, when did you buy it? And they both have owned it for a while, right? So do you have equity? Yes. Okay. Do you know what the interest rates are right now? They're the lowest in the history of the recording of all interest rates. And do you know that there's a significant buyer demand and inventory shortage? Yes, yes, yes. Do you know you guys are in the real estate business? Yes, yes, yes. So put your house on the market right now. Get it fixed up while it's on the market. Explain that you're fixing it up while it's on the market so you can snag the low-hanging fruit, because there's a buyer frenzy in this marketplace right now. And by the way, you're in real estate. So when the sign goes up and it goes on all of our marketing, you're going to get phone calls from buyers, right? That might not want to buy your house, but you could sell them something else. And then now you're going to take your equity and you're going to roll it into the house you actually really, really want and pay the historically low interest rates on that next house. So there's not one argument you can give me that I'm going to buy that makes any sense for you to do anything except put your damn house on the market tonight, right? Go take 6 pictures with your iPhone today and put it on the market today, because there are people looking to buy right now at 2.78% interest rate. Your buyer pool is this big. What are you going to wait for the stock market to drop another 10 days of 1,500 points a day? And then everybody starts losing their job, and then 10 houses come on the market on your street, and now your value plunges? Are you going to wait for that to happen to crush your value? Are you going to take advantage of the lowest rates ever with no inventory on the market so you can get the most you possibly can ever get and be able to buy at the best buying power in the world, right? Which one do you want to do, right?
Right.
I mean, realistically, that is the conversation, guys, we need to be having right now. And you need to be having this conversation with everybody through your social channels, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, especially, and just tell people, have this conversation. The best stories are third-party stories. One other example I want to share. Jessica, my niece, she actually works out of this office. We were talking this morning, and she's got a whole bunch of lanes that are working, right? And she goes, what do you think I should do right now? And we're talking about the markets and what my thoughts and energy. I said, look, there's 2 things we need to talk about. One is, where are you going to get the biggest bang for your buck right now as far as time goes? And what are you going to, because you're trading dollars for time, right? Time for dollars. So what can you do to make the most money right now with the market the way that it is right now? And there's two things. Number one, she loves the first time home buyer market because that's her jam. And she does really well at that one. I said, you need to go scream from the mountaintops with every platform, social platform you have and say, look, right, if you're living in one of these nice expensive apartment houses and you're paying a couple grand a month because you want to look cool to some person at a bar that you don't even know or care about, you're stupid, right? Get out of it. Go buy the crappiest house, the best house you can afford, even if it's a crappy one, at 2-point-something% interest rates for VA loans or FHA loans, and get into a house. Yeah. Live in that house and Uber to the bar and trick everybody that way if you want to, right? But get out of the stupid rent right now and go buy a house. It's a generational opportunity. Rates may never be like this again, okay?
Well, they likely won't be.
So get out there and start talking to people and do this one. The other great example that came from that example, so she's now putting the videos out, posting it. She's going to put a couple dollars behind this video and the zip code, that's an affluent zip code, to target people that are in that same position. And get your friends together, call your uncle, borrow some money, gift it up there, talk to the mortgage lender, buy something right now. If you don't have something, buy something. If you have something, see if you can qualify to buy something else and buy something else right now. And people are going to say, good idea, call me. Second example that I had with her this morning was she sold a home to this one specific client 3 years ago. We were talking about this morning. So 3 years ago, he bought the house for about $330,000. Okay. Right now, it's worth about $480,000. Wow. Okay. So that's a pretty good in 3 years. Yeah. And so I would call that pretty good equity, because what did you do to earn that 150 grand?
He slept in it.
Slept in the house. It's tough work for 3 years. And then you made that. And then it goes deeper. I said, well, where would he want to move? And the question is, I don't know. Then do they have, there's kids involved, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's one kid. What school are they in? Is there another school district? Then what would he want in a house? Well, he'd rather have a house that has a pool, right? So why don't we get a house with a pool that's a nicer house in a better school district, put your $130,000, $40,000, $50,000 down and keep your payments the same or maybe even less than you're in right now. So to not do that is absolutely stupid.
At the lowest rates possible.
Right. It's stupid. At the time that your house is worth more than it's ever been worth ever before in the history of the world because of the buyer pool chasing it. So, I mean, we have to, guys, you have to get very strong and aggressive and say, if you don't do this, you're an idiot, right? I want you to write down, I understand that you told me if I don't do this, I'm an idiot. And I want you to put it on your wall, because if you don't buy a house right now, you're able to, you can do it, and you should do it, and it's a good thing for you to go do it. You're dumb, right? You don't let people not buy that are in a position are able to buy right now. That's your whole thing. So if you're not shouting that out right now, then I don't know what else to do to help you.
Well, when people are most people are in a better position to buy than they think they are, right? Because the banks, you have so many banks doing so many creative things right now. Not like what we saw in 07 and 08 and selling homes on stated income and all of that. You're not, I mean, that's out there, but you're not seeing the big banks do that. What you are seeing the big banks do, though, is understanding and adapting to the world we live in. Yep. We have a banking partner that came in the other day to our Apollo Beach office. And what they've realized is there's a few partners we have that offer zero money down loans, right? Most of those programs,
100% conventional financing.
100%. Now, most of those programs require good credit. So you have to have a 700 plus credit score typically to qualify. If you're watching and you do, these are big lenders that are willing to do 100% home loans. So those are great programs. This lender said, listen, if they have a rental history that shows the rental rate that they have been paying, I think it was for 2 years, is higher than the mortgage that they're going after, we will actually go down into the 500s and still do a zero down, because if they can afford the $2,000 a month in rent, they certainly can afford the $1,500 a month mortgage.
That's right.
Right? So zero down.
Yep.
And in the 500s in credit score.
We were just talking with an agent over there who's actually designing a flyer going to high-end apartment complexes, and he showed us his flyer.
Yep.
And tactically, let's talk about what we did to tweak that flyer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a couple things optically, right? Just from a branding perspective to add the logo and change some of the colors. But more specifically, it was all great stuff. It was great info. But there was a couple core things that were missing. When someone looks at something, you have about 2 seconds, right, to get their attention and answer that question. And for most people, his flyer basically was stop renting, right? And here's all the reasons why. And most logical human beings are going to pick that flyer up and go, yeah, I know I shouldn't be renting. I should buy, but I can't buy, right?
My
credit sucks. I don't have the money. I don't have the down payment. So our advice was address that upfront. Stop renting. Afraid credit's not there. We have solutions.
Buy now. The only reasons why you don't buy.
Here's all the reasons that you're going to tell yourself that you can't buy, and we have solutions for every single one of them. And so that's the biggest thing. If you're out there, whether it's a flyer, whether it's you sending a text, whether it's you going on Facebook and literally going through your list and messaging, whether it's using a software that we push called Auto Networks, it doesn't matter. You need to go communicate to your sphere right now that whatever the situation is, you can help. And you can. If you're with the right brokerage and you have the right partnerships, you should be able to help them, right? You really should, because there's so many options out there, and you are doing your friends, family, and clients an injustice if you are not out there making them aware of the opportunities that are available to them right now that very likely will not be in 6 months.
Or when this thing sorts itself out, which could be tonight.
It could be.
Could be June.
Who knows? Trump could come out tonight and say something that changes everything. Right?
Which
who knows?
We're anticipating that happening.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, right? We can't predict the future. What we can do is go off of the facts right now. And the facts right now are the rates have never been lower. And if you are thinking about buying a house, it's never been a better time to do that. And if you were thinking about selling your house, your buyer pool has never been larger.
We had 5 deals that happened around this table that would not have happened if I didn't have these conversations this morning, which is the lesson I want you to take away. Because if you don't have these conversations, you're not going to spur on transactions, right? Because a lot of people are paralyzed right now and saying, what's going to happen tomorrow? I don't know. And realistically, it doesn't matter, because do you have anything to do with Russia versus Saudi Arabia on an oil price per barrel fight? No, right? It's no bearing in your world whatsoever, except it drops the Dow Jones Industrial Average down, which paralyzes people to say, I shouldn't do anything. What if things are going to happen? The reality is, if you're renting right now and you can get a loan, you're dumb for not getting a loan, right? I'm sorry to say it that way, but I can't say it any other way. And I hope you really relay this message to your sphere and say, if you're renting, I don't care if you're month to month or you have 6 months left on your mortgage, you're stupid to not buy right now. Yeah. You need to talk to me. If you don't have money, don't worry about it. I've got lenders at 100% down financing. If your credit's not perfect, don't worry about it. I got lenders that'll deal with that as long as you've been making your payments and you're a good credit risk. So if you're thinking about it, remotely thinking about buying, call me. And if you're thinking about selling your house in the next year, possibly, maybe thinking about it, you better call me right now, because I think you might be really missing a generational lifetime opportunity of supply and demand curves melding together in this perfect little storm of this little tiny window of a market dip that has super low rates, unbelievable demand, and no inventory. That is an unbelievable perfect storm that allows you to get very wealthy in the next couple of months, right? I can't say that more strongly and more passionately right now. You have to get out there, take advantage of the situation right now. It costs you, how much does it cost you to post this type of content out on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn right now?
0.
How long would it take you to record a video that says, guys, let me tell you what's going on in the market right now. It's never happened before. All these things are blending together, blah, 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 buy, sell. You need to do it or you're stupid.
30 to 60 seconds.
Right? So 30 to 60 seconds, $0 pushed out to the world. You're going to get a deal. You're going to get conversations.
What I love about it, though, is the fear of it not working is just not logical, right? Because let's play the other way. You don't do it. What's going to happen? Nothing.
Yep.
You do it, and it could work. It could not work, so nothing happened, but nothing would have happened if you didn't do it either, right? So there's no loss. So that whole thing in your head, that drunk monkey that's going to be going in your head saying, oh, it's not going to work. Oh, you don't know what's going to happen. What if this happens? What if that happens? That's like, LeBron saying, oh, I'm not going to take that shot because I might miss. Well, you might make it too.
That's right.
But you won't know unless you take the shot. So, it's one of those things you just got to do it.
If you haven't done this yet this week, Please promise me that you will do this right now. I don't care what your hair looks like. Turn on your phone, go live and say, guys, I was just talking to a couple colleagues. We were having a conversation about how unprecedented this market is right now. Here are the opportunities. I don't care if you use me or not, but if you're a friend and you're seeing this, we're related in some way. I care about you. I have your back. Use me for advice. Bounce ideas off me. Let me talk you through your scenario. Let me help anybody you know. Please, guys, take advantage of the situation. Call me.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
There's your video.
100%. And even now's an opportunity to go prospect. If you're going after for sale by owners, is now not a good time to reach out to them and say, hey, there's more buyers in the buyer pool than ever before. Are you getting offers? And if you're not, there's a problem, right?
Yep.
Let me help you. Now, it's also important to note that most buyers have agents, right? So is your house in the MLS? No, that's a problem, right? And now you can use this opportunity as a way to go get more for sale by owners.
Right.
Go knock on someone whose door who expired a year ago because they were on the market, that maybe now is a better time to list because there's more buyers. There's so many opportunities between your sphere and between the outside market. I don't care who you're going after, go after both, but it's communication.
That's it.
It's communication. You got to talk to them.
And do more than you've ever done before. Right now, guys, I'm telling you, we've been doing this a long time. I've never seen all of these market forces hitting at this exact time with more opportunity for you to create generational wealth for yourself, buy properties that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to buy, and take advantage of it. And I really do hope that this whole virus thing gets contained and things settle down. I don't see that happening in the next day or so, right?
No.
So I think you take advantage of the time, you take advantage of the opportunity, you calm everybody down, and you control the narrative, and you tell people the reality of what's happening right now is there's never been a better opportunity time to buy and to sell than right now. Forget about what the market's doing. Look at your market. What are you able to buy, right? And what are you able to sell and buy into? What can you leverage, guys? This is the moment, and I want you to really realize this. Tag a friend, share this with your friends, do whatever you need to do, and reach out. Let us know what we can do to help you. We'll do whatever we can do to help you take advantage of this opportunity, guys. And I can't say it any more deadly serious than I'm doing. This is the opportunity that doesn't come very often. It was great the way it was. It's ridiculous right now. And if you're not taking advantage of it, we need to help you do it.
Absolutely. Regret is scary. So the last thing you want to get is 2 years from now and really regret not taking advantage of what we have right now.
Yep. Let's go take advantage of some stuff. Thank you for watching.
Yep. See you next time, guys.
Do some deals. Let us know what we can do to help.
One shot, now the future is yours.